demonology for dumbbells. Ugh. Omnes autem mali demonis quam. What? What is this? Who are you to interrupt my musings? By Naga the Protector, they have the manners of boors, these boatmen of Sicil. Oh, but perhaps I spoke too soon. Perhaps I was mistaken, for you hardly resemble the local fisherfolk, which, incidentally, is a compliment of copious dimensions indeed. No, a source hunter, that is what you are. Yes, a stalker of sorcery, a chaser of charms pernicious. In truth, I cannot go so far as to say it is a pleasure to make your acquaintance, for I take no pleasure in the company of man. But it may just be to our mutual advantage to join forces nonetheless. Why, simply because you hunt source, and I, Jehan, hunt demons. You are aware, of course, that quite often both of these pests frequent the same shadowy pools of infamy. Now, I hate what I hunt, but I respect its cunning. Should I not, I'd have been decimated, body and soul, long since. This is a sentiment I'm quite certain you must recognize. Let there be strength in cunning, yes, but also in numbers. The calculus of wizardry I offer you, the might of the magician's mastermind.
Yet another fine. Volume 1, Volume 2, but where's the third one gone? Shatsu. Sometimes I think these books sprout little legs in the night. Who placed this book here? A volume of poetry among novels? Urak! What mayhem! Kaj'Dinor. A brief history of sorcery still hasn't been returned. Teleron will have to pay yet another fine. Kaj'Dinor.
On one condition. That on our joint travels we will never deal with demonic entities, no matter how tempting their propositions. Give me your word on this, and I'll weave you spells.
Volume 1, Volume
You speak
2.
before your turn. I, for one, am not ready to make that promise.
Bueno, le estamos tocando los cojones.
Sometimes I think these books sprout little legs in the night.
Oh, simple souls. Oh, doomed spirits. What tangled webs you'd weave. But I won't be a fly to be caught in them. Begone. Reflect. And if you should see the light, I will be here in the library. For now, you are not worthy of my devotion.
I think these books sprout little legs in the night.
Me cago en la zorra esta de los cojones.
The night
The lesser key of Sadakandras. Ugh, what nonsense. The Encyclopedia Demonium.
A source hunter! Oh, what a sight for sore Sicilian eyes! Me? I live alone here in town. Used to be that my younger brother Tom and I were practically joined at the hip, But that's all changed now.
The
Oh,
encyclopedia.
he's always been something of a rascal, calling his petty hooliganism adventuring and endlessly worrying my poor mind. Oh, but of course, I've always loved that scamp to bits. For my part, I encouraged him to join the Legion. Even got him sparring with Captain Aureus now and then. But then those blasted Fabulous Five came into town.
Know it by heart.
That band of... I don't even know what to call them. Well, they're his heroes, and I simply couldn't prevent him from going to see them. That one meeting was all it took for Tom to run off with them on some mission to God knows where.
Daemonum. And the first edition, too.
Volume
Most
1,
promising.
Volume 2. But where's the third one gone? Shatsu. Sometimes I think these books sprout little legs in the night.
The Source Hunter. Have you come to your... Why? Simply because you hunt source now. I hate what I have. This is a sentiment I'm quite... On one condition.
The knight in see-through armor.
O sea, que si la manejo a ella no me
Princess
toca los
Buttercup with
cojones.
the
Vale.
blushing bottom. Stentaken. Esmeralda does have a propensity
Very
for
well.
all things.
There will be no deals with demons.
Agreed. Nothing good ever came from bargaining with those devils anyway.
Most gratifying. I see you are firm of purpose and thereby ready to descend. Descend into the madness that is sorcery. Into the depths where demons dance. Gladly shall I follow you into the abyss. Onward, blood and triumph await.
Who placed this book here? A volume of poetry among novels? Urak! What mayhem! The knight in see-through armor, Princess Buttercup with the blushing bottom, Stentaken. Esmeralda does have a propensity for all things naughty, hasn't she? Who placed this book here? A volume of poetry among novels? Urak! What mayhem! Volume 1, Volume 2. But where's the third one gone? Shatsu. Sometimes I think these books sprout little legs in the night. Kejdenor. The brief history of sorcery still hasn't been returned. Teleron will have to pay yet another fine. Kejdenor. The brief history of sorcery still hasn't been returned. Teleron will have to pay yet another fine. The knight in see-through armor, Princess Buttercup with the blushing bottom, Stentaken. Esmeralda does have a propensity for all things naughty, hasn't she? Volume 1, Volume 2. But where has the third one gone? Shatsu. Sometimes I think these books sprout little legs in the night. The knight in see-through armor, Princess Buttercup with the blushing bottom, Stenteken. Esmeralda does have a propensity for all things naughty, hasn't she? The knight in see-through armor, Princess Buttercup with the blushing bottom, Stenteken. Esmeralda does have a propensity for all things naughty, hasn't she? Volume 1, Volume 2. But where's the third one gone? Shatsu. Sometimes I think these books sprout little legs in the night. Who placed this book here? A volume of poetry among novels?
Treasure!
Urak! What mayhem! Volume 1, Volume 2. But where has the third one gone? Shatsu. Sometimes I think these books sprout little legs in the night. Volume 1, Volume 2. But where has the third one gone? Shatsu. Sometimes I think these books sprout little legs in the night. Who placed this book here? A volume of poetry among novels? Urak! Mayhem.
Striking it rich!
The knight in see-through armor, Princess Buttercup with the blushing bottom, Stenteken. Esmeralda does have a propensity for all things naughty, hasn't she? The knight in see-through armor, Princess Buttercup with the blushing bottom, Stenteken. Esmeralda does have a propensity for all things naughty, hasn't she? Who placed this book here? A volume of poetry among novels? Urak! What mayhem! The knight in see-through armor, Princess Buttercup with the blushing bottom, Stenteken. Esmeralda does have a propensity for all things naughty, hasn't she? Kaj Denor. The brief history of sorcery still hasn't been returned. Teleron will have to pay yet another fine. Volume 1, Volume 2. But where has the third one gone? Shatsu. Sometimes I think these books sprout little legs in the night. Volume 1, Volume 2. But where has the third one gone? Shatsu. Sometimes I think these books sprout little legs in the night. Who placed this book here? A volume of poetry among novels? Urak! What mayhem! The knight in see-through armor? Princess Buttercup with the blushing bottom? Stentiken! Esmeralda does have a propensity for all things naughty, hasn't she? Kajdenor. The brief history of sorcery still hasn't been returned. Teleron will have to pay yet another fine. Place this book here. A volume of poetry among novels? Urak! What mayhem! Who placed this book here? A volume of poetry among novels? Urak! Turjageta, friend! Indeed you may. The wisdom I here hoard is yours to peruse and even take with you. All I can ask is that... The knight in see-through armor? Princess Buttercup with the blushing bottom? Stentiken! Esmeralda does have a propensity for all things naughty, hasn't she?
some. Spiritless. Perhaps wrestling an earth elemental will inject some vim into your routine.
You there? You look like an actor just waiting for his big debut.
Cruel fortune. One coin or two, noble spirit? One coin or two? Thank you, kind one. Oh, I am a happy man, and certainly a humble one now. It turns out losing it all has its own share of benefits. A fool once was I, and ever seeking greater satisfaction than that which I already enjoyed. In my folly, I sought the counsel of those notorious Watcher statues on the western cliffs. Their guidance ruined any small fortune I might have had, but certainly granted me humility. I'd heard they were not to be trusted, that they gave fools' advice to the fools who sought them, but somehow I believed that I was the exception. They told me that I would find fame and renown if I renounced my worldly possessions, all my worldly possessions, and became a great figure of piety and humility. Fire, the most thorough cleanser, was my method. But as my house burned in front of me, I felt no elevation, no piety, only the sudden weight of my own idiocy upon my very soul.
So those statues told him he'd have to renounce his earthly possessions to become a spiritual leader, did they?
Ah, cruel fortune.
And now he's begging to survive. Looks like everything went according to plan.
Ah, cruel fortune. Can you spare a coin? Can you spare a coin? Ah, cruel fortune. Can you spare a coin? 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 Cruel fortune.
Sorry, sir.
Those boots that embarrass a bridge crew get to shining recruits.
Sorry, sir.
Can you spare a coin?
Those boots that embarrass a bridge crew get to shining recruits.
Sorry, sir.
Those boots that embarrass a bridge crew get to shining recruits.
Sorry, sir.
Attention! About face! Good barracks! Notch! Recruits! That was sloppier than Sicilian stew. Again!
Have some pity.
Those folks that embarrass a bridge crew get to shining recruits.
Sorry, sir.
Attention! About face! To the barracks! Notch!
Have some pity.
Recruits! That was sloppier than Sicilian stew. Again! Those boots that embarrass a bridge crew get to shining recruits.
Sorry, sir.
Can you spare a coin?
Those boots that embarrass a bridge crew get to shining recruits.
Sorry, sir.
You think that's funny, Private? Sir, no, sir.
Have some pity.
Attention! About face! To the barracks! Notch! Recruits! That was sloppier than Sicilian stew. Again! Attention! About face! To the barracks! Notch! Recruits! That was sloppier than Sicilian stew. Again!
Any real damage? Are you joking? I've been wrong.
Attention!
Come on.
About face!
It's not as bad as all that.
Honored to meet you. Wish I was a source hunter. Dangerous line of work, but it's a damn sight more glamorous than being a legionnaire.
The least of it. The beast looks rabid.
In that case, you'll have the pleasure of putting her down yourself.
Attention!
To try and screech, woman.
About to the barracks.
So you've half a brain behind that feral maul, have you?
The cretin's question crossed her lips and aped an air of aptitude.
Hey, Tull, I think that was an insult.
Don't pay attention to the beast, Various. You'll only encourage it.
Attention! About face!
Hey, who's that then? Come on, stand where my good eye can see you.
Easy, Tull. That's the source hunter you're talking to.
She may have the look of a woman if you squint hard enough, but she's no more than a wild animal. We got reports of a strange-looking outsider skulking through the town with her bow drawn. I found her crouched behind a tree, taking aim at a fat old rat trotting along the city walls. I tapped her on the shoulder to see what was what, and the beast startled like a wild cat and lunged right at me.
Bit Tullia right in the face, she did. It wasn't pretty, and now it's got a chunk ripped off it to boot.
Enjoy it while you can, Ver. There's not another legionnaire in the cohort that'll have you if I go rabid.
Well, that's to be decided. She doesn't seem to be sick, despite Tully's moaning. We can't keep her here forever, but we can't well send her into the wilds again, can we?
Those boots that embarrass a bridge troll. Get to shining recruits.
Sorry, sir.
After all, a fearless hunter might prove quite useful for our investigation.
Well, that's a relief, ain't it? We found a good home for her after all, Tull.
Heed me, Source Hunter. She's not good for anything more than cannon fodder. And don't turn your back on her when she's got that bow within arm's reach.
Think that's funny, Private?
Sir, no, sir.
Source Hunter. I have heard tales both grand and terrible about the world of humans. I myself was caged one moment and freed the next by our kind. In Home Forest, every creature acts according to the nature of its kind. Birds frighten easily, badgers fear little. But amongst men, there are no guarantees.
Attention! About face! To the barracks! March!
It is strange to stand with one foot in the forest and the other in the city, Source Hunter. I'm glad that now I have you standing beside me, even if one burns hot while the other wheezes cold.
About face! To the barracks! March!
Perhaps in time I will come to know my own kind as you have. And perhaps then I will decide for myself whether ours is a noble kind.
Those boots that embarrass a bridge troll. Get to shining recruits.
Sorry, sir.
You think that's funny, Private?
Sir, no, sir.
Attention! About face! To the barracks! March! Recruits! That was sloppier than Sicilian stew. Again! Attention! About face! To the barracks! March! Recruits! That was sloppier than Sicilian stew. Again! Those boots that embarrass a bridge troll. Get to shining recruits.
Sorry, sir.
You think that's funny, Private?
Sir, no, sir.
Attention! Double face! Two about it!
What have we here, then? A so-called source hunter, eh? Well, look, do what you must in Sicil, but don't make waves and don't interfere with the Legion's affairs, you hear? I'm Captain Aureus, if you must know, leader of the Legion in Sicil, by which I mean I have the enviable task of commanding a battalion of walking dead. For I fear it may well be but a matter of time before the undead undo all my soldiers and turn them into drivelling hordes of their own misshapen number. Gods above! Some politician snuffs it and everyone's in an uproar. Ridiculous! I told that wizard brat of an Ahu not to bother, but he just had to send for source hunters, didn't he? Bloody magicians. They see a pigeon poop and think sorcery's afoot. Nevertheless, I want to be kept in the loop. Understand? I am in command of this town, not Mayor Cecil, not Ahu, and definitely not some hotshot source hunter. So investigate Jake's death if you feel so inclined, but report back to me the moment you discover something out of the ordinary. The scene of the crime is over at the King Crab Inn. You can tell the guard you have my permission to enter. Now off with you! Esmeralda is Jake's wife. Well, widow. Everyone in town, down to the crabs on the beach, is convinced she killed him. Now, the girl has the reputation of being a flirt. There is that. But that doesn't suffice as evidence, wouldn't you say? Or do source hunters rely on hearsay alone, perhaps? That certainly would explain some of the cock-ups you lot have made in the past. What? You're going to stand there and claim with a straight face your order never wrongly tortured and executed anyone? Hardly. But I won't stand for such nonsense. If you bring evidence before me, I'll evaluate it with perfect objectivity. The Legion relies on reason, see? Not idle superstition. If you must. Bravo! Figured that one out, did you? I haven't been stuck here for 2 years because we're being besieged by fluffy kittens, you know. Those brain-feasting freaks out there keep on coming. And it takes all the sword arms and all of Ahu's half-baked contraptions to keep them at bay. Keeping them at bay, that is all we do. Were that I could break their backs once and for all. How am I enjoying it? Are you spoiling for a fight, Hunter? Are you? Sicil stinks of fish, reeks of orcs, and on a good day the wind disperses the stench of decomposing corpses. I can't remember the last time I had a proper piece of steak, and by now I retch at the mere sight of sardines. So in conclusion, I am not enjoying Sicil. I'd say they are looking for weak spots in our defenses. They can't make an attack over land for fear of Ahu's magical machines, so they're trying their luck by sea. They won't succeed, though. Not against the Legion. We are the pride of Rivellon, to be found and to be seen everywhere. We don't hide in the dark and lurk in corners like some I could mention. No, we protect the civilized from the barbaric, and we do so impeccably. Yes, and he also spends most of his time in the guise of a cat, licking God's knows which body parts. Sects, sorcerers. He'll be seeing flying carpets next.